Hello everybody and good morning, hope you're doing well. I say good morning because for the first time in a little while I've got a day off. Actually I've got 2 days off, so I'm hoping in these 2 days I can catch up with a lot of stuff MCOC and video wise that I want to create, including Banquet Event guide that I'm working on, quite extensive, and as well finishing off the side quest guide spreadsheet, which a link to is in the description. And in this particular video we're going to be going over the following, which is the side quest, some of the best champions to use within the side quest. Now look, it's always down to your own personal opinion as to how you choose to take on any of these individual like paths. Okay, so from a threat 4 perspective all the way up to, well, threat 3 to threat 5, it's all about choosing some of the best champions, best counters for all of this, whether or not you're going to take on the most easiest versions of this or the hardest versions. By the way, my I'd say go-to team for threat level 5, I think it's the most difficult one, threat level 5, is this team here of Falcon, Archangel, Bishop, Hercules and Silver Centurion. It is not, in some ways it's not the best team, but it's a team. I actually would take out Silver Centurion, mainly because I ended up choosing, actually any champion works for the end boss, for week 2 Red Guardian. Because one of the big things you'll know is that Red Guardian, Leviosa, is a, that's an old school me joke. It's not really funny the more I say it, and I probably will stop saying it. But in any case, look, Red Guardian week 2 is very different to Red Guardian week 1. In week 2, he's got special delivery, critical eye, compelled dual special 1, and critical setup. If you do a crit, he gets unblockable, in a nutshell, right? For the week 1, that's a bit different in that the champion has Whiplash. And Whiplash is the new kind of like thing Kabam were like putting on at the moment. And in a nutshell, that is, just make sure you do a special attack to send the Whiplash to the other champion. And I can imagine as well that this will be a different version of Red Guardian going into weeks 3 and 4. I would say as well, for any player that's kind of looking at this and going like, oh, what's my best option? If you find a week that works well for you, use that team for that particular week on repetition. What do I mean by that? Well, look, I can access either one. So if I had better counters, and I've got the counters kind of like locked in, they didn't give me any kind of like, you know, problem, I didn't die as much, then it's like, say to yourself, okay, well, I'll strictly use my letters from champions into the respective week that worked well for me. And that's something to kind of like to point out. The good thing about this is that the champions leading up to the path, so the class specific types of fights, remain the same. And because they remain the same, it means that you can have and create the best team to kind of go and work that works for you. This is why we're doing the video, just to kind of break down those particular fights. Thanks very much to everybody in the community tab that gave suggestions, and also to those that realised that they said, oh, you can use any champion and you can use them on any difficulty and you get the same rewards. Now it's nerfed, so we can't. So we have to use some of the best options. And I don't want this video to be about, just use Hercules. By the way, Hercules does work really well, but I don't want to make it like, you know, every single video is like, use Hercules, because that's the go-to option. I've got some kind of suggestions together on different ones, so let's go and break this down. So first of all, I'm going to be focusing more on threat level 5, but do bear in mind, it's kind of like, well, it's 4, 3, scaled down. It's pretty much the same thing with it. So let's go over some of the options for this. First of all, and we'll throw some footage over the top as well of some fights that I've had that worked really well. Look, starting off with Duke. This is the tech. At the moment, I know it to be either Vulture, I'm Patriot. There could be somebody else. That's another kind of tech-based champion. Duke. So basically, end with a light attack, end with a medium attack. Alternate those two kind of like combo enders in order to build up a lot of Fury passives. Make sure with Ebon Flow Heavy, just do a heavy attack, and that is going to be absolutely fine. And don't get hit. Unless you're planning to use something that's able to reflect damage back the other way, or mitigate that damage, like, you know, Hercules has got immortality, King Groot's got a load of regen. You know, there's other ways of mitigating it. accidents happen. I definitely had it one time where, you know, an accident happened, and that wasn't good. But any Cosmic champion theoretically does this. Any champion that is not a class disadvantage would be an advantage in this particular regard. Then, moving on to the Mystic side of things. From a team setup perspective, you can look to use champions that are going to be helpful for, you know, using multiple fights. No, it's not all about going, let's use Hercules for stuff. But there are various options. I would say with this one, the only bugbear would be life cycle. There is root or rooted. So every 12 seconds, you know, you're rooted, keep distance. Any champion would work against that one. There's Aerosolini and Bubble Shield. And of course, there is enhanced parry. I would say for this one that it really does depend what is your concern or gripe with this one. And for me, when it comes to like suggestions for this, like I'm mainly focusing on the life cycle side of things. This is why on the guide, which we've got on screen right now, that on this section, the second one is that I've got Archangel, Warlock, Lady Deathstrike, and Dr. Doom. Mainly because these particular champions are able to shut down, well, not shut down, but kind of break down that life cycle. So you're able to go, right, well, we're going to get to that pinky shield. And then when we are able to do that, we've got a longer time when we go grey shield to then throw in a special attack, dot damage, and take down the enemy. It's up to you how you look to kind of like rotate around this. But as I said, for me, and you pick your poison with what you don't like. Bubble Shield, do you not like that? Root or rooted, you know, keep your distance, you know, do you not like rooted? Throw a special attack to get out of it. Make sure you got a special attack in the tank just to throw it. Is it the power gain issue? You know, what is the issue about this? Find a solution. We've got a you know, heal blocking options. We've got power control options in Warlock and Dr. Doom. But look, most, if not all champions work. It's just about shutting down that life cycle. It's going to make sure that they're not getting that extra life. And life cycle is an interesting one. It's one of the ones I don't like, but I kind of end up like quite liking it. It's not as bad. Whiplash for me at the moment is just a little bit annoying. But life cycle, it was an old you know, no, that wasn't good. If not, any champion work if you're, and you know, Science Champions, whatever. Just make sure too, when you've kind of done the knockdown and it goes grey shield, pop an SP3, and if you do that, you're able to kind of get the fight pretty much won. But you have to wait for that grey shielding, and you know, you've got to do that. Right, moving on to the next fight, which is a cosmic one. This does have Rising Sun, which we'll find that, you know, technically any champion would work if you're willing to just parry heavy your way through it. However, though, I have found that auto block does trigger at times a bit more frequently, and it kind of points to having an easier road could be auto block champions. Not saying that's the go-to, but look, I've used Falcon for this, it works great. I've used Mole Man, that works fine. Odin, if I can get to an SP1, fine. And also then get into an SP1 rotation, because what we're doing is we're putting on True Strike, which counters that. True Accuracy champions will counter this as well, I want to say. Yeah, True Strike, True Accuracy, I think that's it. And True Sense as well, but a lot of those champions require a rotation that just doesn't work out to kind of get to an auto block counter as quickly as one would like. And do bear in mind with this quest, you're going to have to do it a further 2 times this month. So, you know, I kind of thought whether or not I should make a guide or not. But hey, let's just do it in any case. Has it been a week? It's been over a week since this new quest went live. Time, honestly, in this game is ridiculous. Nothing else I think to worry about. It's just Rising Sun. You've just got to make sure to do your parry heavies as kind of like, or heavies in general, as quickly as possible, just to make sure you don't get fury buffs on you, therefore kind of triggering off the degen. And yeah, auto block counters for the win. Moving now on to the science-based fight for this. I kind of feel any high debuff champion is going to be of benefit. It's got good defense, and the champions you'll face off against on this one will be the likes of Wasp, Ant-Man, and Yellow Jacket. The attacker's well-timed blocks place a random debuff from weakness, armor break, suppression, yada yada. And attackers dodge an attack, place a random buff from Fury. Yeah, okay, so you got that. When the defender activates a special attack, they gain stun immunity. That's steady perseverance. Whether or not you want to bring in a champion that's able to deal with that, like a stagger champion. There are some other stagger champions that are non-mystic related to kind of suppress it, nullify it. But look, at the end of the day, you've got stuff like even punishment whenever the attacker stuns the defender. One buff is nullified. You hurt locker as well. Rotate around certain special attacks. My recommendation is basically just use any champion that's class advantage, and as well is able to do a large volume of debuff damage. And some of the suggestions that I've kind of like come up with for this is Human Torch, Nick Fury. I've heard even Infamous Iron Man's good for this. Mole Man could do 2 fights. Hercules, of course. And look, any champion that is a high debuff champion will largely work for this. That's really it. If you've got a high debuff champion, have it in your roster, have it in your team for this, because it's going to be of benefit and help. I mean, I think I tried to do it with a bishop, my rank 2 7-star bishop, and I just thought, well, glancing in some respects isn't really great for this. So it's like, look, it is what it is. I just had him, I think, as an option for just to clear the path, but I'll probably change it up. I'll go Nick Fury, to be honest, my 5-star ascended one. So moving on to the final one before the boss, that is. And we've got Wombo Combo, we've got Counter Tactics and Diversion. Now, I would just stress right here, it depends how you want to approach this. The champion will get miss unless you keep your distance. So if you want to play into playing aggressively, then you might want to miss-based counter. Not saying you will or won't. Again, options with it. Other than that, Wombo Combo, whenever the defender activates a special attack, the attacker combo meter is consumed, blah, blah, blah. I don't think there's anything to worry about that. I think it's just a case of finding out and we've got Counter Tactics. The defender increases base attack by 20% for each hit on the attacker's combo meter. Just kind of monitor that. But I think it's a case of just a diversion. Other than that, it's a pretty straightforward type fight. Use anything that you would kind of like feel would be of benefit here. And again, it could be like high debuff options, but do bear in mind you do go against Valk, which might be a bit of an issue with that. But other than that, like, I mean, my recommendations for this are going to be the following: going in with champions like I use Bishop. I've heard people use Infamous Iron Man for this fight. I've doubled on Hercules. I need to kind of remove. Let's remove her. Oh no, not that. We're going to remove Hercules. Don't want to double up on Hercules for this. Nick Fury, Archangel. Look, I think a lot of champions work unless you want to go down the route of miscounter. You choose what you feel is going to be best for this. So when it comes to the end boss, which is Red Guardian, I would say with this, it's going to be about up to you, right? Week 1 and week 2 we know about. Week 3 and 4 I might have to update the spreadsheet for. So champion options for this is week 1. Like I used Falcon as it it counters Whiplash. So I'll probably throw some stuff on screen of that one where it just counters it. So it means that this doesn't appear. So as long as you're locked on, you won't get it. And I don't know if that would happen for Sam Wilson. I want to say potentially yes. But yes, that's the thing. And in week 2, any champion. Crossbones works. Crossbones works, I think, both weeks. I heard someone use Hyperion. So look, there's lots of options for this one. I wish you good luck. I think this video has gone longer than I wanted to. So there we go. We'll end there. Check out the spreadsheet in the link in the description. Thank you very much for watching. And yeah, have you got any other suggestions, put it in the comment section down below. And I'll try to update the spreadsheet as and when I get some more information. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.